Hey guys, it's your creative queen. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. Today we're going to do a tutorial on the 6-inch money box. It's also a photo cube. Let's get started. So you're going to need your printouts. These are 6 inches. We're going to start off with cutting out the top. The top is going to be half an inch wider than the rest of the panels, and that's so that it will fit over the entire cube. So the top and the bottom are a half inch wider. So we're just going to start off by cleaning up the excess space. I like to leave a little bit of the white on there before I cut. That way when I'm on the foam, I have something to guide me to cut with. I don't like to cut my foam first. I like to actually add the photo to the foam and then cut that excess white space off. So you're going to see me do that in all my photos or my videos. So we're just placing it on there. Then we're going to use our squeegee to kind of smooth it down and make sure we don't get any bubbles. And now we're just going to go ahead and cut off that excess white space. So line up your ruler, hold your ruler down, and then guide your box cutter. And then repeat for all sides. This is the best way to get the cleanest, neatest slices. We've done that. We're going to go ahead and speed up the rest of the video. I'm going to slice and prep the rest of the panels. So I'm just going to speed this up and then we'll get back to it. Now that all our pieces are cut out, we are going to begin assembly. So you're going to decide which ones you want to be the front, what you want to be the side. I did 2 of each image, so I'm going to make sure that I position them so I know what's going where. You're going to start by putting some glue down your left side of your panel. And then you're going to line your side panel all the way up to the edge. Make sure that you don't have any glue spilling over. And then press and hold. Go ahead and repeat for the right side. Just go ahead and guide your glue down slowly. And then we're going to put our side panel on. Line it up neatly. Clean up any glue. And then press and hold. Now that we've got the 2 side panels on, we can go ahead and put our back panel on. So you want to go ahead and add your glue. I do one side at a time. It just makes it easier to make sure that you're lining up properly. So I'm going to do the left side first, add my glue, adhere the panel, And now that that's on, I'm going to go ahead and do the right side. Just adding my glue again. Being careful not to drip over to my photo. Cleaning up the excess glue that was on there. And then we're going to press and hold. And we've got the beginnings of a cube. All right, now we are going to prep the top panel. For the top panel, this is a money box, so we're going to cut out the white rectangle in the middle, and we need to cut it slowly and neatly because we are going to keep this. This is going to be the top to the money pole, so we want to cut it out, but we don't want to wreck it while we're cutting it out. You guys are going to see that I use a ruler for almost anything. I like clean cut lines. It just looks better for your product. So go ahead and take your time to cut this out because you do need to reuse it. And then once it's cut out, we will move on to the next step. Just reinforcing those lines so that when I go to push this out, I've got a nice clean cut. So I'm going over and just reinforcing what I did with the ruler, and then we're going to go ahead and try to pop it out. And once you get that popped out, go ahead and set it aside and we'll come back to it later. If your cut doesn't look clean, go ahead and clean it up a little bit. So now we're going to go ahead and put the top of our box on. You want to make sure that the white lines are showing along the side. That's going to line up perfectly with your top. Go ahead and line it up, and then we're going to go ahead and glue it. I'm going to speed up the gluing process because we all know how to add glue to the top. Now that you've got your glue on there, go ahead and press your top on, making sure that it's lined up on all the edges. And clean up any glue that may spill out. Give it a nice firm press down and give it some time to dry. We're going to go ahead and make the pull piece for the money pull. So you're going to add these pieces to your foam. I did speed this up because it's the same as prepping your panels. And then we're going to cut the pieces out. This is included in the template as well. Those pieces cut out, we're going to go ahead and glue them together. So you should have the same image on both sides. And then you're going to take your panel that we cut out from the top and we're going to glue it to the bottom of those two pieces. Make sure that it's dead center, and then there you go. You've got your money pull. All right, now we're going to finish up the bottom. We're going to cut the bottom, and this one we're going to do is a kind of like a trap door. That way you can add stuff inside, or if you're adding more money than will fit through the top slot, this will give you the option to open the bottom and be able to add that in there. So this can also be used as a technique for a card box so that you can get the cards out and not damage the box. So I like to add a little trapdoor to the bottom. That way, if we wanted to add some surprises inside, we can also do that. So I'm just making sure that it's going to line up first, and then we're going to go ahead and cut out the trapdoor. This piece is the same size as the top piece. So we're going to set that aside, and now we're going to cut along the black lines to create our trapdoor. I'm going to remind you that we're only going to cut along 3 sides. On the 4th black line on the underside of this foam, we're going to score. That's going to give us the door effect. We don't want to cut all 4 sides and then it just pops out. Reinforcing those three sides. Now we're going to flip it over and we're going to score the fourth line. But I'm going to go ahead and reinforce my initial cuts from the front side. And then use your ruler to score that fourth line. Now we should be able to flip it over and our little trapdoor will pop out. Okay, now we're going to make a little handle for it so it'll make it easier to pop it open when we need to. Just grab a piece of black cardstock or something, whatever to match your design, and cut it down to size. It doesn't have to fit perfectly in the little black box that I provided, but I just like to have detail, so I added that. Just cut that down to size, and then we're going to tape it to the underside of the foam. Not tape, I'm sorry, we're going to glue it. This part I didn't realize I was off camera, but I'm just adding a little dab of glue to the inside of the foam. And then we're going to add our piece of cardstock. And then to give it a little added support and to make sure that it does pull when we want it to pull, we're going to add a little piece of glue on that inside flap and then fold it over. So I'm just waiting on that to dry and cleaning it up. And then I'm going to add a piece of glue to the inside. Sorry if it's hard to see. But just to that flap right there, and then hold it down just so it sticks. And we are not gluing it down to the bottom side. We're just folding it just to make sure it'll fold. And now it will pop, and there you can pull in and out. Now we're going to go ahead and glue on our bottom piece. I'm going to speed that up. Again, you just want to line it up. Make sure that you clean off your excess glue and then give it a nice press to adhere it. And now that we've completed the money box, we are going to go ahead and prep it so that we can add the money to it. So you want to take your top piece, and I used double-sided tape. I took a piece of double-sided tape, and I'm going to adhere it to the bottom of the flap that we cut out. So just like that, just a small strip. And then once you've got that strip on, go ahead. If you're using double-sided tape, it probably will already have the peel come off, but I have a different type of double-sided tape, so I have to take that off. And I'm going to take one of my bills and I'm going to line it up in the center and just adhere it to that double-sided tape. And then to make sure that when we pull, it doesn't pop out, I'm going to take some regular Scotch tape and I'm going to put a piece on each side. I took my box cutter and I cut it in half. And then I put one on top and one underneath to kind of give it the look of it standing on its own or sticking down, not necessarily laying flat like it is in the photo. So we're going to put a piece on the bottom side as well. It shows that it'll hang. Now we're going to go ahead and we're just going to tape on the other pieces of our bills using Scotch tape. I use Scotch Magic tape so it doesn't stick to the bills or tear them when you go to take them off. And then I'm just going to speed up the rest of the process of adding the rest of the bills once we get this one on. But you can just tape to the front or the back. It's best to use bills that are flat. Newer bills look better when they're coming out. together, we want to go ahead and roll it up. Now, if you're not using a lot of bills and they will fit through the top hole, you can go ahead and use the roll option. Just roll it up really tight, and then we are just going to stick it in through the top hole. If you're using a large amount of bills, many more of them will fit through that hole. Go ahead and put 1 or 2 pieces onto the happy birthday pull, and then open the bottom flap, pull it out, and adhere the rest of your bills. That way, you're not going to have difficulty getting it into the box. I hope that makes sense. So this is just enough to fit through, but any more, I would have had to load it through the bottom. So now we are set. There is our money box.